I do want to resolve one small little thing, and it's my fault we didn't do it to begin with, but I think particularly in a crowd like this, if we don't do it, we are missing something, and that is, I think we all need to stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. We do not have a flag here per se, but Major Tom over there has a flag on his shoulder. So if everybody would stand and say the pledge with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. That was an amazing dinner, and that was an amazing performance put on by Alfie Silva. He just did a fantastic job, and Alfie, thank you so much. And before we get into tonight's program, I want to take a minute and I want to recognize some of our sponsors and supporters tonight. First of all, we are very, very grateful to the Maxwell C. King Center and Eastern Florida State College for their support and cooperation. You will be hearing a little bit more about them a little bit later on when Linda Medema speaks to us. Next, I want to give a shout out to Delaware North, who has been a wonderful partner to us, whether they have provided tickets to the Visitor Center or supported events like tonight's dinner. We are deeply, deeply grateful for all their support. As I already, somebody applauded, yes, definitely. As I already noted, Alfie Silva came and just did a bang-up job as Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra and Tom Jones and Elvis Presley and everybody else. Thank you, Alfie. We also appreciate the effort and generosity of Myra Igo Haley and the Igo Family Foundation. Myra could not be here tonight, but she sent her best wishes and she did some wonderful things for us to help make this evening possible, so we're grateful for that. We are also very grateful for the time and energy invested by Darcia Jones-Francie, because this evening would not be what it was without her help. We really appreciate it. We're also very grateful to several companies and individuals and organizations that stepped up to sponsor tables tonight. Those include the Florida Institute of Technology, Pat Fisher Nissan in Titusville, the Jacobs Corporation, ISS Casas, and the United Launch Alliance, as well as Mr. Robert Seek, Ms. Hazel Banks, Mike McCulley, John Weaver, and the Spacewalk of Fame Board of Directors. So thank you to them too. Thank you everybody. If you got here a little late, then you missed something pretty spectacular, and that was 4 vintage Corvettes that we had out front that came from around the same time that Jim Rathman would have been handing out Corvettes to the first astronauts. And boy, it was really neat to see those Corvettes, and we wanted to thank Steve Williams and the Space Coast Vets for providing them tonight. We also wanted to thank international artist and sculptor Fritz Van Eeden for his donation to our auction. Mr. Van Eden's work is absolutely stunning. I got to go to his gallery very briefly this morning to pick up the painting. And if you've been to the Fusner Art Museum in Melbourne, you've probably seen his work, and it's pretty amazing. I also would be remiss if I did not thank one special gentleman who could not be here tonight, unfortunately, but he has certainly been our guardian angel, and that is Mr. Joe Williams. Joe's family is here tonight, and we are deeply grateful to them and to him. He donated $100,000 to us last year, and we put his money to great use as we expanded our education program. We bought our building, and we upgraded our exhibits, and likewise, Joe purchased not 1, but 2 tables tonight, and dedicated the second table to our education program. filling it with students and a teacher and a county board member. Joe also donated a couple items to our auction tonight, so even though Joe's not here, I want to give him a big round of applause and gratitude. We are also obviously deeply grateful to the astronauts that gave their time tonight. You guys and gal have been wonderful, and we really appreciate having you here. I also wanted to let you know that your program tonight features a brief synopsis of some of our plans for the coming year. And let me tell you, we have got a lot on our plate, but we're really excited about it, and we are ready for the challenge. And if you'd like to know more, give us a call. We would love to give you a tour of the museum, and we would love to tell you about everything exciting that's coming up. One more thing, we have quite a number of young people here tonight. We were very fortunate. Our STEM teacher, Danielle Miller, came and brought students, including 3 students who have taken our STEAM classes. We also have students from ISS CASIS. So I would just like the young people who came tonight to stand and be recognized, because you are our future. And if you kids have not had a chance to talk to the astronauts, make sure you find time to do that before the evening's over, because they were where you were once, and you could be them someday down the road, and I think that would be wonderful. And finally, last and definitely not least, I would be remiss if I did not brag about the most amazing group of staff, docents, and volunteers for any museum that I have ever been associated with. These folks beat everything. Our docents and volunteers are at the museum constantly, giving hours and hours of their time. Our staff is small but mighty, and we couldn't even open our doors without the tireless efforts of our Deputy Director, Karen Conklin, our Finance Manager, Arlene Michael, and our Gift Shop Manager, Jenny Lambert. And by the way, Jenny was the cigarette girl circulating among you tonight. You guys rock, and I would like our staff and volunteers and docents to please stand up, because you all are amazing. Thank you. If you ever want to do something exciting and fun and educational, come up to the museum, and any one of our docents will take you on a trip through the space program that will absolutely astound you. Many of them worked in the space program, they know it inside and out, and they're amazing. With no further delay, I would like to bring up our MC for tonight. As Dick noted a few minutes ago, he has been a passionate supporter of our museum and of the Monument Project, and he has distinguished himself as a Navy captain, a test pilot, and an astronaut. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Robert Crippen.
Thank you for that warm welcome. I don't pass up a chance to come to the Space Coast whenever it's offered to me. I live a couple of hours south down near West Palm Beach, but I get up here as often as I can. I first visited this area in 1967, almost 50 years ago, and I have found excuses ever since then to come back. And a good deal of it is because of people like you. I like to refer to this place as where the rubber hits the road for the space program. And a lot of folks in here make it happen. And I also want to thank you also for supporting the Space Walk of Fame. As was mentioned, I have, ever since Charlie Mars first twisted my arm, I have been working to support it whenever I can. It's extremely, excuse my voice, it's going away. It's extremely important that we have a mechanism for remembering the history of our program and the people involved in it. Well, that's what the museum's about. But history can have a little bit of a bite to it every now and then. Tell you a story, wasn't too long ago, I had a neighbor's daughter come over to my house to show me her history book. What she wanted to show me, there was a picture from STS-1 of John Young and myself. And I'll tell you, seeing your picture in a history book really makes you feel good. But, you know, as I look around the room, I see quite a few people that helped make STS-1 possible. And you should be in the history book also. That's what the museum is about. It is that, and the monuments that we have are a form of a history book. And you certainly deserve to be a part of it. It's my pleasure always to get here. And I need to emphasize one thing I was talking about earlier with the young people standing up here. It is extremely important for this country to push the hard courses involved in science, technology, engineering, and math. We are continuing to slip. And there's a lot of people working on it, so the Space Walk of Fame is no exception. And space is a great vehicle for exciting young people about STEM kinds of courses. Now with that, I'll echo what Dick Baker talked about a while ago. Two important items. Both bars are still open. They'll be open throughout the evening. We're going to have a number of auction items coming up that I think you will find that are pretty exciting. And we're pleased that we have Sheriff Wayne Ivey back with us, the auctioneer. He came in a little bit late, and I see he's disappeared again, but they're always back there, okay. But he'll be out later. And we have 8 valuable door prizes that we're going to give away, as well as all the centerpieces. Later, I'll be introducing the astronauts, and I've talked to a few of them, thank you. I've talked a few of them into getting up and spinning some tales for us. So I think you'll enjoy that. And we're also set up to help you become members of the museum back at the membership table in the room next to the Retro Lounge back behind you, if you would care to sign up. And I think you will, if you're deeply involved with it, you can talk to the other people like some of the docents here tonight, and they will, it's an exciting thing to do. But first, I want to introduce Dr. Linda Medina. She's Vice President of Academic Affairs and Chief Learning Officer for the Eastern Florida State College, where we're located. We're grateful for the support we received from Eastern Florida and the King Center. It's a perfect fit because of the Space Walk of Fame Museum is all about education, whether we're educating people about the history of the space program or trying to excite students about STEM. Dr. Medina earned her bachelor's at Northern Michigan University, her master's at Madonna University, and her PhD at Capella University. We're honored to have her here tonight. Please welcome Dr. Medina.